Coming up on Daily Iowan TV, the longest government shutdown has come to an end, but it may only be temporary.
And later, politicians are flocking to Iowa as the 2020 presidential race quickly approaches. Stay tuned to find out more.
How did the Hawkeyes men's basketball team fare in the barn? I'll tell you all about it in sports.
We may have the coldest temperatures ever in Cedar Rapids. Find out more on weather.
All that more coming up on this Monday morning edition of DITV.
Don't go anywhere. DITV starts right now.
Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Noah Gowdy.
And I'm Susanna Kloster. After 35 days, the longest government shutdown in history has come to a temporary stop. On Friday, the government officially reopened after President Trump signed a bill for a 3-week period. During this time, federal employees will be paid for their time without a check, and the Republican and Democratic parties will work towards southern border negotiations.
I will sign a bill to open our government for 3 weeks until February 15th. I will make sure that all employees receive their back pay very quickly or as soon as possible. It'll happen fast.
While President Trump received no funding towards border security in the 3-week bill, he has stated that if compromise is not met within 3 weeks' time, the government will return to being shut down on February 15th.
If we don't get a fair deal from Congress, the government will either shut down on February 15th again, or I will use the powers afforded to me under the laws and the Constitution of the United States to address this emergency.
As the presidential election year quickly approaches, Iowans have been receiving more and more visits from politicians. Last Sunday, U.S. Representative Eric Swalwell hosted a meet and greet in Marion, Iowa, outlining his political viewpoints and teasing a potential Democratic presidential run.
I see opportunity. I don't see obstacles. I mean, this is a battle of ideas. This is what democracy is about: is testing ideas, testing candidates, seeing leaders emerge and flushing out weaknesses. So I'm excited for that.
Swalwell is not new to Iowa, as he was born in Sac City. Though Swalwell moved to California as a child, he has made many visits back to Iowa to campaign. Education funding tops Swalwell's major points, along with improved gun safety and universal gun care. State Senator Rob Hogg supports many of Swalwell's ideas, but believes it might be a tight race.
And I think he's a really good guy. I like his enthusiasm. And we will see how he does as it goes forward here. I like his Iowa roots. I like his belief that Americans need to dream bigger. I like that. And we'll see if he has what it takes to be the next president of the United States.
As both the Iowa caucus and the 2020 election approaches, locals can definitely expect more candidates to make an appearance in the area.
Dance Marathon's big event is just days away. With a few more days to fundraise, the organization is pulling out all the stops. We have more with DITV News reporter Sydney Zatz in the newsroom.
That's right, guys. Dance Marathon is definitely pulling out all the final stops, and those stops include community days, days in which a business raises a certain amount of proceeds and donates it to Dance Marathon. Now I had the chance to check out one unique community day at Title Boxing Club, and let me say, they are definitely FTK.
Jab, jab, punch. Words that were heard numerous times at Title Boxing Club's Dance Marathon Community Day event. The theme, 25 rounds all FTK, or for the kids.
We've been doing this for the past 4 years. This is our 5th year, and we just come up with creative ideas of how to help and contribute and fundraise for the kids. They're the true fighters.
A snow-filled January day did not discourage people from coming to box. With Title Boxing Club looking to raise $1,500, it was easy to see how impactful this event could be.
I think it'll be a big impact for sure, because I know the goal is 1,500, and that's huge. Like, that's more than most people get. So basically, it'll be like a whole new person at Dance Marathon, or a whole new big effect for Dance Marathon.
It's just great to see people come in and really sweat out while doing 25 rounds of boxing, which is a lot. But also the 25 rounds was an idea to celebrate 25 years of Dance Marathon. So.
Now, I did not try boxing myself. In case you were wondering, that would not have ended well. But Title Boxing Club will be raising money until Wednesday, and those donations will be added to the final tote board come Saturday night at Dance Marathon's big event. Now, make sure you follow the Daily Iowan on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and check out dailyiowan.com for all your latest updates throughout the big event, which lasts 24 hours. Reporting from the newsroom, Cities at DITV, Susanna Noah, back to you.
Thanks, Sydney. And Susanna, I'm glad they were all able to make it out there on Saturday because it was pretty cold.
Yeah, and this morning wasn't too much better either. And let's toss it over to weather with Dylan with the weather.
Thanks, Noah and Susanna. Yes, as we see, our forecast AM lows for Wednesday are reaching up to 21 degrees up here in Des Moines and even down to -26 up there in Minnesota. Now, this minus 21 in Des Moines will be the coldest temperature in Des Moines since February 4th of 1996. Heck, I wasn't even born yet. Now, as we move on to the wind chill temperatures, as we look here, Des Moines will have a low of 43 degrees on Wednesday at 7 a.m., and then it gets a little warmer throughout the day, but still frigid cold. Fargo is by far the coldest at -54 degrees when you count in wind chill that Wednesday morning. Now, as we move into today's forecast, we have a temperature of 14 degrees here locally and cloudy skies with 22-mile-per-hour winds. So the feels like temperature is down below zero at around -10 degrees. As we move into tonight, the winds die down a bit, and we have a temperature of 3 degrees in clear skies tonight. Now, as we move into our extended 5-day forecast for the week and look into Wednesday's forecast specifically, like I said, today we have 25-mile-per-hour winds with our high reaching at about 28 degrees and a low of -4. Tuesday, the winds continue. We have 20-mile-per-hour winds with our high at 2 degrees and our low down at -13 degrees with cloudy skies. Now, Wednesday, this one's a cold one. We have a high of -14 and a low of -33. Cedar Rapids will reach a -29 degrees, which is the coldest temperature ever recorded in Cedar Rapids. Although we have sunny skies on Wednesday, it will still be frigid cold. Now, Thursday, we have a small chance of snow showers towards the night with our high at 0 degrees and our low at -1. Finally, as our weeks wrap up on Friday, we have a high of 26 degrees and low of 19 with mostly cloudy skies. Well, it looks like our forecast gets a little bit better as we move through the week, but Wednesday will be freezing cold, so watch out for that. Noah and Susanna, back to you guys at the desk.
The University of Iowa Department of Psychiatry has recently opened a new student health location on campus. The new healthcare facility is located on Middlebury Road and has been recently renovated. The location offers the same services as before, but is now much more convenient to access, along with offering free parking for patients. Originally planned to be a medical treatment facility, the building was changed to offer mental health services. Also, Department Psychiatry Chair Peggy Nopoulos is very excited to offer psychiatric services at the new facility, stating, quote, "There's a huge need and we need to grow our services in order to provide the care Iowans deserve in mental health," end quote. The department hopes that their new location will help make it easier for students to get the physical and mental help they need.
A university professor has received government funding for her groundbreaking brain study. Assistant psychiatry professor Crystal Parker first began studying the brains of rats with fellow university professor Nancy Anderson. The pair focused their studies on the cerebellum, believing there could be a connection between it and treating various illnesses. With very few researchers putting an emphasis on the cerebellum, Parker's studies have helped change how scientists view the part of brain. The National Institute of Mental Health took interest in their study, giving them a $2.1 million grant towards their research. Parker is planning a clinical study soon and hopes she will be able to apply her findings in a way that can start to help humans. And now let's toss it over to sports and learn a little bit more about how men's and women's basketball had gotten action last night.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. Your typical Nicholas Bear hustle play has a chase down Amir Coffey, and he gets rewarded on the other end as Isaiah Moss finds him for 3. Coffey answers as he drives through Bohannon and Moss for the 2. Coffey finished the night with a team-high 23 points. Minnesota fans went into half with a smile as Iowa gave up 55. Midway through the second half, Bear has his pass broken up by Debris McBrayer, who pushes the fast break and throws it high for Coffey. And he hammers it down. The barn got loud. Minnesota protects their court with a 92-87 win.
Yeah, I thought our rotations were a little slow. I didn't think we did a good job of executing our game plan. We knew that they had a couple shooters, and we let them get going. And obviously, once you ask any shooter if they can, knock down their first or second shot, then they'll stay hot. So they were able to do that, and they were able to get inside. So that's something that we'll look at on film, and we'll get better for it.
Now, I think there's only one way to put it. Iowa was outmatched. With more on the Hawkeye performance, here's DITV Sports Director Lucy Rodin.
We weren't very good on defense, no matter what we did.
Brandon McCaffrey was right. Iowa was not very good defensively against Minnesota, and no matter what they tried, it did not work.
Was what we were doing before was not working. So, you can change the offense, you can change the defense, or you can change personnel.
And Iowa's poor performance pushed Brandon McCaffrey to a drastic decision to bench all 5 starters while Iowa was down by double digits.
He's obviously trying to send a message, and I think we received the message well and came in there and fought, but, he shouldn't have to do that.
We know just as much, if not more, than Coach knows that we've been playing bad, So, the guys went in, we're encouraging them, trying to get those guys to get stops and execute on both ends, and then when we get back in, it's our time to do the same.
And at the halfway point in the Big Ten season, the lack of intensity that we saw from Iowa against Minnesota has to stop, especially as a top 10 team comes into Carver on Friday. Reporting from Williams Arena in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Lucy Rodin, DITV Sports.
Iowa is slated to play a top 10 Michigan team this Friday in Carver Hawkeye. In other hoops news, the women's team took on the Boilermakers in a matchup with huge implications for the Big Ten. With 2 minutes left in the first quarter, Kathleen Doyle and Megan Gustafson assist Hannah Stewart, who had 21 points thanks to this and one. However, it was strong Boilermakers defense keeping them in the game early on. The Hawks made their adjustments, however, as they started the second half strong with a big scoring spurt. Late in the game, Megan Gustafson offered the most dominating block of the game, and it was crowd approved. Iowa won 72-58 over the Boilermakers, making it their 5th consecutive Big Ten win.
Work so hard, and I just think they deserve it. I think Carver Hawkeyes should be full. I think we had 5,000 missing people today. Where are they? I love the 9,300 we had there, and thank you, and we appreciate you so much. But, I just feel like they deserve this. These women work so hard. They're great role models. They do everything that you want of a Hawkeye. And so I just, I love it when people come out and support them.
That will do it for me in sports. Noah and Susanna, back to you at the desk.
And that's all we have for you today on DITV. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Noah Gowdy.
And I'm Susanna Closter.